And so the story is told that Prometheus stole fire from Zeus, king of the Olympian gods, to give it to mankind. Enraged, Zeus ordered Prometheus to be bound to a desolate rock and attacked by an eagle.
Is this the plot to American Pie?
Very close. Very close. Porky's 2.
Ah, there it is.
It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Prometheus, the God of Fire. We have stepped up our game to get ready for Independence Day. We've got those Independence Day drinks coming your way in just a little bit. People love the God of Fire. They go cuckoo bananas for the God of Fire, specifically the Series B with that Connecticut broadleaf. I understand. I get it. I love Connecticut broadleaf. I just don't love the Series B. I just never have. What I love is this right here, the God of Fire by Carlito with that Cameroon wrapper. This cigar, a 5 3/4 by 52, which means it's 5 3/4 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And the ring gauge is a 52. That's the diameter of the cigar or how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter, a 64 ring gauge would be a full 1 inch around. When I tell you, Fingers, that I love the Carlito, and I think the Carlito is better than the Series B. When I find it, I almost teared up right there. When I find it, I buy it by the box. You've seen me do it now on 2 different occasions. I see it, I say, yes, please, daddy like in this conversation, I'm daddy, and then I take it with me.
I have seen him do that. He'll say, shopkeep, give me your best box of Cameroon wrapper cigars.
And a sarsaparilla.
Yes.
That's what I say right there. I think that this is a better cigar than the Series B. You can find people who are willing to fight me on that. And again, your palate is yours. It's just my love of the Cameroon wrapper, how that lays on the tongue, how it works. I simply cannot get enough of it. Now, there's a series of these that are out there. Right? You could do the Don Carlos, which is an Ecuadorian wrapper, the KKP, that Special Reserve, which is with a Habano wrapper, and of course, that Series B. I'm a fan of the Carlito, and it comes in different vitolas, different sizes. I have some Churchills in the humidor right now, along with these, which I think they refer to, I don't know if they refer to this as a double Corona or really a double Robusto at that 5 3/4 size. This is a nice place to be. The 52 ring gauge is super easy in the hand. That's like the normal height that I like to be at. But that 5 3/4 inch, it's just giving me that little bit more. And it's not necessarily taking my whole day. But flavor-wise, right off the bat, Fingers, you have lit up. The smoke is just taking over the studio right now in a beautiful way. What are you getting?
Well, listen, I also like a Cameroon wrapper. I'm a big fan. You get that, the cedar note is there. There's some, a light bit of pepper. There's a nuttiness, also a little bit of a creamy sweetness for me. These are just wonderful cigars.
Beautifully constructed, beautifully put together. That wrapper, Cameroon is often referred to as a toothy wrapper, almost in the idea of having this kind of waffling to it, this waffling texture. I agree very much with the idea that there's just this light layer of spice that goes on, and then this nutty creaminess. That is absolutely how I take it. That's absolutely how I feel it. I never feel that I am overwhelmed by this. Part of my issue with the Series B, and this is me, your palate is different. It comes to me as bitter. And I've had people look at me like I have 9 heads. And I've had 1 or 2 people say to me, yeah, that's how I feel. Like they never described it as that before. This comes across as I don't feel it in the cheek. I don't say the cigar is luscious. What I say that this cigar is very, very deliberate in the flavor that it puts on the tongue, and that's the only place I feel that flavor. And then the smoke that it puts off. The actual experience of this cigar, the actual draw of the cigar, the exhale. Remember, you're not inhaling, you're not bringing it into the lungs, you're toasting the palate, you're keeping it there. It actually has an experience. It has a flavor to it. It has a feel to it that I don't get from too many cigars. I just think it is beautifully constructed in that way.
And with this particular cigar, we're just in the first third. That pepper for me is there, but what's strange for me is that listen, it's not a pepper bomb. There's a nice little bit of pepper.
No,
there,
not at all. Not pepper.
But the pepper really stays on the palate for me. And I really, we've done several Cameroons over the years. I'm really surprised you're not a big fan of, we've talked about the Oliva Serie G. You're not a fan of that so much.
Maybe I have to go back to it. Maybe in the times that I had it just wasn't there for me, and now it will. It's only been, I don't know, 5 years that you've been yelling at me
and
about it.
But obviously we were both big fans of the Aladino Cameroon. They just hit me the right way, and this stick is right there with them.
Now, you want to get your notebooks out. What'd you eat today? What'd you drink today? The weather, it's been weird in Indianapolis, a mix of humidity, and then are these storms going to wash us all away? It's been nutty like that. Weather will absolutely affect the palate. You get your notebook out, you take the cigar, you break it up into thirds in your mind. First third, second third, final third. What is it that you're experiencing in each third? Maybe it's the same things, maybe it's different things. When you go back and you try that cigar a week later, a month later, 6 months later, you do it again, you check your notes, find your through lines, right? What is it that you really felt about the cigar? That's where your palate is. The cigar really does, for me, hit all the notes. And what I have found in having the cigar a few different times in a few different vitolas and shapes is that I'm starting to wonder if my palate's indeed changing. If this happened to me years ago. I should tell the story. I'll give the quick version. I got sick. Right. It was cold, the flu, whatever it was. And I never tasted a cigar the same way again. It was dumb. It was ridiculous.
This is well before COVID.
Oh, far before COVID. Oh, COVID was not even a gleam in the eye of a scientist in Wuhan.
Or was it?
Well, now you're just being that guy. But then again, I also started to like spicier foods. I liked ice in my drinks. Like a bunch of things changed for my palate. It's super weird that it happened. I'm starting to wonder whether or not I'm having a palate change in what's going on.
Well, a lot of people, their palates shed after 7 years.
They do not molt. Palates do not molt.
Oh, they don't?
No, they are not snakes or some kind of very peculiar mammal.
Well, my science teacher was way off then.
Clearly, this is what happens when you listen to Bill Nye. I apologize for nothing.
He's the science guy, I'm told.
Yeah. He's wearing a bow tie, right?
Also, molts after every 7 years.
That I'm willing to believe. From Prometheus, it's the God of Fire Carlito. We've got this as I believe we call it the double Robusto. Is it in the humidor? We will discuss that. We will get to the price. I'm just a fan. It's a good way to get ready for the holiday coming up. And we've got those holiday drinks. We'll tell you how to make them. With the Independence Day holiday coming, and fingers, I want to be clear, it is not 4th of July. 4th of July, date on the calendar. Independence Day, well, that's the day that America set the world straight.
I actually celebrate the 3rd of July and then Independence Day.
You are an even better American than I am. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. Before Independence Day gets here, get our book, Let's Go Barbecue, Recipes, Tips, and Tales from the Pit, so you know how to make some fantastic food this Independence Day. It's a smart article, and we've got it up over at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. The 2 affordable cuts of meat Bobby Flay uses when cooking for a crowd. Now, Bobby Flay is the real deal. There's a reason he has all the shows. He is that good. There's no question here. But the point of this is that people do spend, and you're going to be spending more on your Independence Day barbecue than you have in the last even couple of years as inflation remains high. So you want to be able to give people things that are not only good, but aren't going to kill you, that also are easy to create in, to quote Coneheads, mass quantities. That's right, a Coneheads reference. And then I beat you to that, Fingers. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Chicken thighs and skirt steak. And with that,
absolutely.
The chicken thighs conversation, I think people are genuinely afraid. And I think what they're afraid of is that it looks weird.
Oh, I thought you were going to say thighs.
No. Most people love thighs. I once knew an American girl who knocked me out with her thighs.
Look at you.
That's right. That is a Milli Vanilli reference. You're welcome, everybody. But chicken thighs are juicy. They're flavorful. You can do so much with them. If you want to grill, fine. If you want to smoke, fine. If you want to fry, fine. It is. I want to use the term forgiving. Would you agree or disagree with that take?
I think that's very fair. Yeah, absolutely. What I was really surprised with is when I saw this piece over at Yahoo. I thought, okay, the first thing is going to be pork shoulder. And we had a discussion last week, and actually someone reached out to me, Joe, on Facebook. We talked about whether pork shoulder is forgiving, and he agreed, said it was, and it's the fat that makes it happen. And
that's
the sauce,
basically what's on my Tinder profile.
There it is. And the sauce should be secondary.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. This is the weirdest thing about pork is that it is people don't. It's not that they don't care about how it cooks. It's that the answer is, well, you just sauce it up and it's done, and it almost masks the other things. And so the question was, how much time do you really need to put into the pork? And the answer is, well, what do you want? Joe seems to be saying, what do you want?
Right. Well, but to me, and listen,
it is forgiving.
Yeah, I freely admit I have not smoked a pork shoulder in a tick, as the kids say, but for a while there, it felt like you could get a good sized pork shoulder for less than $20, and you're going to feed an army with that.
Well, look it up. Sarah's here, who runs all our digital stuff. When you see like the reels and everything else, that's Sarah. Would you look up how much a pork shoulder is? I want to know.
But I mean, you could feed an army with a pork shoulder, and if it's less than $20, I thought that would be on there. But I totally agree. I like to, we brought up my new Ninja wood fire grill that I have.
You do love your gadgets and gizmos.
Yeah, I do. And it's 9 different gadgets in one. And one of the things that it is, it's a grill, but it's also an air fryer, and it uses the wood pellets. So I make really good air fried chicken in this wood fire grill by Ninja, not a sponsor, by the way.
Sadly.
And I do chicken thighs.
Right. Chicken thighs is a great idea, and you can sauce them and you can marinate them. A fantastic idea. According to the piece, you can get them at Walmart for about $4.25 a pound. I actually think that's a little high.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little high, right? You're seeing them for $2 a pound, Sarah? Okay. See, that's just it.
Maybe
you can find them on sale.
Maybe the author lives in California.
Maybe they do. And it's a kind of thing that when you see it on sale, you throw it in the freezer. The investment of a chest freezer, ladies and gentlemen, even if you have a second refrigerator, the investment in a chest freezer of almost any size, I cannot speak of highly enough. I don't have you've seen it in the garage, Fingers. I don't have the biggest chest freezer in the world, but it allows you, when you see the deal, to take advantage of it. Buy in the freezer and done. You pull it out when you need it. So much of being able to get deals is being able to be prepared for when the deal comes up.
Absolutely. Now, the flank skirt.
The flank skirt is actually what they used to wear on Mad Men.
There it is.
The skirt steak, which is part of the short plate, it's delicious stuff. It is, and it gets overlooked time and time again. And there's another thing that you can do on the cast iron, you can do on the grill, you can marinate the crap out of a skirt steak.
So we're talking fajitas?
Oh, you absolutely. You can do that, and it'll be right on, perfect, wonderful. You could do a myriad of things.
Tacos.
Right? All of it. Absolutely all of it. But you can, it's quick. It's quick because it's usually a thinner, flatter cut. It's on, it's off. Next thing you know, you're slicing, you're eating.
So with it being so thin, though, you have to be careful, right? Because you could easily overcook it.
So in my life, I've never overcooked one.
Really?
But because it's thinner, I'm paying more attention to it. You're not leaving it there. If you're really doing a New York strip, 1.5 inch thick kind of thing, if you're doing porterhouses, et cetera, you have to give it time. Do you have a bone in there, right? You have to then change your time for that. Skirt steak, is moving faster. You're not necessarily leaving the grill, at least for me, when doing a skirt steak. But I love this because he's talking about high flavor, high yield. And that's what I like so much about these two choices. Now, you were looking up you looked up the pork, right, Sarah? You looked up, it was $2 a pound, or $2 to $3 a pound. $2 to $3 a pound, yeah. Like, that works. I mean, it doesn't work for my rabbi, but it worked for other people.
We got to, at some point, because you said you have not done a pork shoulder before.
I have to do it.
Yeah, that has to happen.
It absolutely has to happen. But I love these two choices there, and those are great things to do for Independence Day.
So Independence Day, what's going on the grill?
For me, you want the whole list?
Sure.
I will give you the whole list. I'm doing a brisket.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 15-pounder that's ready to go. I have some all-beef hot dogs. I have chicken thighs are absolutely going on and getting grilled. I have got a flat top to do nothing but peppers and onions and things like that. I wasn't going to do skirt steak. I might now. I might buy some, marinate some. Next thing you know, anybody who wants a taco is good to go.
Get some Kogel hot dogs. You'll thank me later.
Oh, good Lord. That's a Michigan thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I got them from Costco. I got the Costco hot dog. You're the worst kind of person. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy smoking the God of Fire, Prometheus. We're doing it by Carlito with the Cameroon wrapper. This 5 3/4 by 52 cigar, and not yet through the first third, Fingers Malloy, but it just gives me these. It's just a wonderfulness. We talk about the nuttiness, and we talk about that smoothness that goes along with it. That pepper is absolutely there, not filling the cheek, on the tongue, but just such a joy. It's a joyous cigar. It is so complete for me and for my palate. I'm a radical fan.
Yeah, I really like the stick too. For me, that pepper has started to subside a little bit. There's a little bit more of that creamy, nutty sweetness that's coming out. And I wondered how much this was going to change as we started to move into the second, third. But the construction's there. Really, a lot of nice, pleasant smoke coming off of this cigar. It's well done.
The question is, Fingers Malloy, is this in your humidor? I find this priced differently in a bunch of places. I have some people who tell me they can find this for $23 a stick. $23 a stick, there's not even a question. I purchased these for $27 a stick. I have seen them as high as $30 a stick. So, $27 to $30 a stick, Fingers Malloy. Is this in your humidor at that price?
Now, I'm much more of the budget conscious person. You're like, $27. Give me 10 boxes.
That is absolutely correct.
We start to $30 a stick. I pause. I probably would have one or two of these in my humidor as for me. That's a splurge stick,
right?
But I think it's worth it.
I buy them by the box when I can find them. There's just no question. At 27 or at 30, I buy them by the box. I do not smoke them. This is not a daily smoke for me. It just isn't. But when I want to treat myself, I want something that just is complete for me. This is where I go, and I'll gladly do it because I can get 2 hours. This is 5 3/4. This isn't a Churchill, right? We're not talking about the 7-inch kind of sizes. I can get 2 hours out of this stick. That, for me, for this flavor profile all day, as the kids say.
That's one of the reasons why I like this cigar, the way it hits me, because I can have this after dinner, after a steak dinner, and be very happy. I could also start my day with this. If I wanted to have a morning cigar with a steaming hot cup of Joe, I definitely
would. You have a steaming hot cup of Joe?
Yes.
Is that the kind of guy you are?
That's the kind of guy I am.
Right? And are you having the cup of Joe because you're on some newfangled diet and you're avoiding breakfast in the morning?
That's possible.
When you say possible, what are you trying to tell us?
Well, I fell off the wagon last week for a little while, and I'm back on the wagon this week.
Okay, so you fell off the wagon by eating how much from Wendy's?
It was McDonald's.
And
I had the Grandma McFlurry. Yeah, it was
describe for the people the new Grandma, brilliant bit of marketing, the Grandma McFlurry.
So it has what I think. Listen, I didn't read the description. I just saw Grandma McFlurry, and it looked like there was caramel on top, and I said, "Count me in." So it looked like there were sprinkled candy, like toffee on top, caramel, maybe some cookie crumbles in it. The caramel, the ice cream, because no one does ice cream better than McDonald's. Am I right, people? But no, it was delightful. But then also I had the triple berry frosty last week as well from Wendy's. They replaced the vanilla frosty with the triple berry.
And how do you feel about the triple berry?
The Grandma McFlurry is fantastic.
Yeah, the candy pieces, which is really like a butterscotch flavored crumble.
Okay, fair.
And then there's a butterscotch syrup on it.
That's butterscotch?
As well. Yeah.
Oh, Grandma and butterscotch.
Yes.
I remember it as caramel.
Honestly, you had a different meemaw than the rest of us. And that's all right. A brilliant bit of marketing, well done, well put together by McDonald's. But now you're back on the wagon and back to being the fitness influencer
Yes.
that all of us follow.
Mm-hmm. So today, do you want to know?
Do I? Do we want to play the game?
We can do it very quickly.
It's time to play America's favorite game, What Did Fingers Eat Today? Here is how we play our game. Fingers Malloy will tell us what he ate today. It will probably be something horrific from a gas station or a vending machine. We then will ask the question that has plagued and vexed man since the beginning of time. Fingers Malloy, how are you still alive? Fingers, what did you eat today?
Today I had a lean cuisine meatloaf and mashed potato frozen meal, and I chased it with a Marie Callender's pot roast frozen meal. Both of those meals together were less than 550 calories. Thank you. Thanks.
You have ruined the game. You are the Buzz Killington of Eat, Drink, Smoke.
I feel like the Marie Callender's frozen meal has impacted my palate when it comes to reviewing this cigar. Marzipan?
You're just the worst kind of person. I can't even ask the next question, but I'll ask it. Fingers Malloy, how are you still alive?
Today, Tony, I jogged 3 miles backwards. I feel fantastic.
That's not true.
Oh, the other things are true. I did 2 burpees last week.
Right, that I believe. That I totally believe. The Carlito, the God of Fire, there from Prometheus. It's time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
I feel like lately, Tony, we have been all over professional wrestling news. Last week, we talked about Hulk Hogan body slamming the light beer market with his new beer, Hulk Hogan's Fantastic Suds in a Can. I think that was the name of it.
I believe it's called Real American Beer.
Oh, I was close.
And it's the suplexiest. I believe. I could pile drive 3 or 4 of those right now.
There it is. Well, this week, Tony, let's talk about the WWE making a huge announcement for the folks here in Indianapolis. The WWE announced that WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble are all coming to Indianapolis, so you can see your favorite WWE stars like Ted DiBiase, the Brooklyn Brawler,
right?
The Iron Sheik,
Classy Freddie Blassie, Jimmy Superfly Snuka coming back from the dead, and of course Tommy Wildfire Rich.
There it is. So, but this is exciting for folks in the Midwest who are wrestling fans.
And I believe Bob Backlund is coming back to avenge himself against the Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik's dead.
I believe Bob Backlund is too. I could be totally wrong on that, by the way. No disparagement meant. I just
Sarah, will you look and see if Bob Backlund is still alive? She's our
Backlund, former WWF champion.
She's our real life Alexa.
This was a huge bit of news in Indy. This was a town that was built on sports. It built a football stadium before it had a football team. It really went after amateur sports before anybody else in the country did. It created what's known as the Indiana Sports Corp, and other cities and towns have copied this model across the country. The estimated economic impact for this deal that's like happening over the next 8 years, $350 million. Can we discuss that? You could say anything you want about professional wrestling. Vince McMahon, for all his issues on this, genius.
I don't even think he's a part of this anymore.
He's not. Yeah. But he created this.
Oh.
The singular focus, the singular vision, the understanding of people, and really the almost craziness that they want. This is unbelievable.
I'm shocked that this is still a thing. When back in the day, when people thought, some people, maybe it could be real. It could be real. And now they've come out and announced sports entertainment instead of professional wrestling. Right. And yet people are still packing the houses. It's amazing.
I also heard special guest Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I think he's
definitely passed away.
By the way, Bob Backlund's still alive.
So I'm 1 for 3. There are bad ideas in the world. And there are people who have never questioned whether or not their idea is a bad idea. These people are inadvertently hilarious because they put themselves through a tremendous amount of pain, and we laugh. The Germans, they called it Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude. That is taking pleasure in other people's pain, as has been described, a term that is perfectly German.
How dare you, sir?
No. How dare you? It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Here is why I bring this up. When I proposed to my wife, I did not make a public display. As a matter of fact, I have never told the story of how I proposed to my wife because my proposal was a gift to her. It is for her to tell. I am never ever sharing the story. I've never done it. I do not do those big public kind of things. I'm not afraid of a public display of affection. Oh, I'll show you a public display of affection right now, Fingers Malloy.
I thought that we did this every week for Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation, showing our love to them.
What's going on in your home?
Listen, if I've said it once, I've said it once, Tony. My life motto is live, laugh, love.
It really is. God, I don't know why that makes me laugh still. It's been 100 years I've been hearing him say that. You do not make public spectacle. And like any good lawyer will tell you, in a courtroom, you do not ask a question that you don't know the answer to. There's an MMA fighter named Lukas Bukovas. He was fighting and lost. He lost his match, and he lost big, in a big way. So that's bad enough. He is there in the cage. His girlfriend is in the cage. And what does he do? He pulls out a ring. Pulls it out. The ring. And asks his girlfriend to marry him. And she says no. In front of 20,000 people. What in the world was he thinking? Why in the world would you do this? She also claims that he was cheating on her. Why was she at the fight? He's a cheater, but the seats are really good.
He denies that, first of all.
Well, of course he does. All those snakes, all those dirty dogs deny it.
The in-ring announcer awkwardly held the microphone to her mouth, and she said, based on everything that's happened, I think probably not. That was her answer. Why would you do that? Listen, Tony, love makes you do crazy things. He got down on one knee in front of 20,000 people with pink hair, and after fighting two other guys, apparently, it was like some sort of weird tag team match. I think it was him and the versus the Road Warriors.
Yeah, it was 2 versus 1, and he lost.
Yeah,
which is not so much MMA as it is a carnival series.
But it doesn't make any sense to me that you would think if you have this tremendous setback in the octagon, Tony, and we've all had our setbacks in the octagon. Here's the thing. maybe you put the ring away and say maybe later when we go to Sizzler.
If you propose in a public place, you have to already have discussed it and know the answer is yes. If you do this, expect bad things. Also, stop proposing at Disney. It's weird.
Okay, it is so strange that you said that, because I was about to follow this with, the one place where you'll never see someone say no to a marriage proposal, it's Disney.
You don't think anyone's ever said no at Disney before?
It's actually on the back of your ticket. You're not allowed to say no if someone proposes to you.
Those contracts are getting tougher and tougher.
But don't you see the pictures most of the time when you have a couple that gets engaged at Disney? They're both wearing the Mickey Mouse ears, and they've got they got Dole Whips in their hands, and they're all totally immersed in Disney culture, and they eat, breathe, and drink, sleep Disney. And on top of it, unless you're a local, it costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $75,000 to go to Disney for 2 people. That usually at that point, when you have that much invested, you probably have that much in common that 99.9% of the time, the person's going to say yes.
The problem is you have that much in common. You're grown-ups. What are you doing? But with that, allow me, Fingers, because I flew back. I was in Florida for a week, and I flew back through Orlando. And the comedy of errors that was my flight home.
Oh?
I will get into it, and maybe not this week. You have no idea.
So are airline related, TSA related?
Yes.
Toxic stew?
I could talk about the TSA in a way that guarantees that both you and I never get to fly again.
Well, please don't do that. I'm flying next week.
But I am in Orlando. I am in the airport. I am online trying to get through security. 9,000 people, 2 lanes open, 30 TSA agents just hanging out on the other side. A riot should have broken out. We are far too genteel, ladies and gentlemen. I need Americans to have their revolutionary spirit again. That's not the story. The story is, in the line with me are a lot of people who clearly were at Disney. These were grown adults. There were no children in sight. They're all wearing the happiest place on earth t-shirts. Some of them had the ears. And to a person, they looked sickly and miserable. Also, for the record, in that order. Wow. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sickly and miserable. These people don't look like they were at the happiest place on earth. These people look like they were getting a root canal exactly at the same time they were getting a colonoscopy.
Okay, but think about this for a second. You're going to
And then
Disney.
The doctor made the mistake.
Oh, there it is. Never cross the streams. I've said it once. I've said that 1,000 times. Having said that, you go to Disney, you're sun drunk, and all you're eating is Dole Whip. That's not good for the next day.
That explain why the vast majority of the sickly and miserable people most probably had type 3 diabetes.
That's probably
That's
true.
1 + 2. That's how I got to type 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Being on that line made me sure I'm never going.
But I feel like, you and I, a few years ago, we were at some conference and we were flying out of that same airport. Yep. And it's a thing, that Orlando airport. We were flying an airline that I won't mention their name.
They've got spirit.
It sucked the spirit right out of me. And checking your bags and all that stuff, we were in line for what felt like an hour and 15 minutes.
I won't talk about the TSA part now. I could scream out loud. Out loud. But the people, they looked miserable. And they don't look like they were sad because they're leaving the happiest place on earth. They looked sad because they realized I'm 44.
Wow. Can I listen, we've known each other for a long time. We
sure have, Fingers.
I'm starting to get a sense that you don't like Disney.
It's their fault. It's their fault. The lines are too long. The prices are too high. And it seems that every piece of content they make is just getting panned by the fans for being all about some ideology push as opposed to good content. This whole thing about the acolyte, this was what people said. They made a show about lesbian space witches, which normally I'd be down with, but it's Disney and not where I thought it would be, which is Cinemax.
Doesn't seem very realistic, space witches.
Right.
That's my problem with
the lesbian part was...
Oh, it's Disney.
It's always nice when we can take the show to the kitchen because this is where we had the fruit, Fingers.
That's true. And people say all the time, Fingers, you just belong in the kitchen.
Tea, drink, smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Independence Day, right around the corner, and we said we're going to make some Independence Day drinks. We've got a couple of cocktails, nay, 3.
That's better than 2, not as good as 4.
We have 3 cocktails for you for Independence Day, and the purpose, the thought process was that, as Fingers Malloy will often tell you, you don't only need beer to have a great Independence Day. Tell them, Fingers.
You don't often need beer so much as you need a drink that you'll enjoy, mostly spirits.
But if all you have is beer,
drink all the beer.
That's absolutely correct. No, we wanted to go in a direction that talks about some whiskeys that we've used in the past, some things that we've not been able to highlight. Got a couple things from Hotel Tango Distillery, which is right here in Indianapolis. And full disclosure, sponsors of my regular radio shows that I do 5 days a week. And we brought back the Crown Royal Peach. I've had this bottle for a while and I have not used it for any other things. It's a weird concoction from Crown Royal. It's as sticky and gimmicky as it gets, except it works. It works. And this with lemonade is going to be probably the first thing that we do. We tried this I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And it's just a perfect mix. So let's get into making some Crown Royal Peach and lemonade for your Independence Day. So this drink is meant to be easy because I am not interested, Fingers, in doing real work. The real work is the grill. The real work is the smoker. The real work is the flat top. That's my work. I'm not interested in the drinks being made. It's one of the reasons I'm not really a mixed drink guy. You're not a mixed drink guy, are you?
No.
Right.
Unless you consider a mixed drink bourbon with ice in it.
That is not.
Oh,
but I like the way you're thinking. Also, keep the knife pointed down if you would. I'm already circumcised. The Crown Royal Peach and lemonade is exactly how it sounds. These are the only 2 things, and maybe a lemon garnish. So we gave Fingers the cutting board. He's actually cutting, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Well, that's ruined. The Crown Royal Peach, they've got a series of these flavors. We haven't done them all yet. This just came out fantastic. Peach is not my normal flavor. I Fingers, as you know, always puts a dab behind each ear. It works really nicely. And so, if I had, the proper, I believe they call it a jigger. If I had one of those, I'd pour it in, but instead we just poured it. We've got, rocks glass. We got a couple of cubes on there. And, I don't know, a little splash there, a little splash there, and it's good. There are no rules, ladies and gentlemen. There are no rules whatsoever. And then just lemonade. It's perfect summertime fare, Fingers.
Yeah, one of the things that was important to me when we came up with this list was, like you said earlier, keep it simple, stupid. Some of the recipes that we came up with, there was 7 to 8 ingredients in it, and I'm 2 cocktails in by the time you get to ingredient 5. So I want something, boom, boom, done, 2 ingredients, 3 ingredients at the most, and this is really refreshing.
And that's the point. I mean, I don't know where you're going to be. I don't know what the temperatures are going to be. All I know is there's going to be some heat. It's got to be simple. It's got to be basic. And then you use the lemon garnish. I guess if you wanted to use an orange garnish, you could. Who are we to decide? There are no rules in any of this. What I like, Fingers, is you're not even trying to mix them. You're just throwing the garnish right on.
Well, and here's the deal, too. I'm not a big garnish guy because, like, for instance, there's still seeds in that because lemon wedge.
That's not what you want.
No, it's considered, those are prizes.
Is that considered good luck in Latvia?
That's true.
So Crown Royal Peach and lemonade. Fingers, are you ready for this?
I've been ready for this all day.
He's doing what's known as the lemonade lick right there. I'm pretty sure I can't say that on radio. What's the matter, Fingers?
It's very good. Tastes a little like Toronto.
It tastes a little like Toronto.
Canadian whiskey. Eh?
Wow. You had to reach. You had to reach far and wide for that joke right there. I'm going in.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing the Montreal Munch.
Yeah. You can drink 4 of these before you knew you drank any of these. That's, by the way, the problem. The problem is if you're the host on 4th of July, Independence Day, sorry, you never call it 4th of July. You never.
Maybe on your 4th peach lemonade.
On the 4th, you're going to call it. That's just it. How many of these could you do in a row and not even know it?
Oh, good Lord. I could probably drink half of that 5th without even thinking about it. That's like candy.
It's so good.
On a hot summer day. My goodness, I could see you at the back, tending the grill, you're smoking a brisket, and next thing you know, half that 5th is gone.
I am not, like some people do a whole series of mixed drinks that have club soda or other carbonation. Not my style at all. And some people go with something overly sweet. You may feel the desire, like I was joking around with the Crown, to really put the Crown Royal Peach in. Moderate that. I think you want more of the lemonade. You want the peach to come through. You want the lemonade to be the thing that allows you to go have another one.
Yeah.
The peach can be too overpowering, too sweet, too much. So I want to keep that ratio definitely down, more lemonade. And you can feel a little bit of heat in the belly, ladies and gentlemen. It's right. It's right here. That is not a place that I necessarily wanted, but it's there.
Well, one thing I like to do too sometimes is use the Arnold Palmer. So you get a little bit of that iced tea, if you like peach iced tea, and get the lemonade as well.
I don't like iced tea at all.
No?
I specifically did not get iced tea for this, so I wouldn't have to drink it.
What about sweet tea? Do you like the sweet tea?
I don't like any tea. Tea, to quote the show American Gods, is disgusting.
Oh, but I like to spill the tea, as the kids say.
That's completely different.
Oh.
That's called gossip. Spilling the tea is gossip. And now, this is how hip we are, Fingers.
It's true.
A perfect drink. Now, we've got a couple other drinks that we're going to get to for Independence Day to go along with the grill. And as we were discussing earlier, I have got a menu. You don't have one. You are going traveling. You've got I will not say where. It is just Fingers has places to be and possibly legal documents to sign. I'm going to be here. People, food, brisket, check. Burgers, smash burgers, check. Hot dogs, check. Steak fajitas, check. The watermelon orzo feta salad from Pioneer Woman.
That's not a real thing.
That's coming back. The tortellini pasta salad, check. It's going to be nutty.
Nutty pasta salad?
Nutty pasta salad. That is also coming. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm skipping town.
I'm skipping town, and I'm going to be around a lot of degenerate gamblers.
People do Independence Day the way they want to do Independence Day. And who are we to judge? We are no one to judge. So we've got more drinks coming up, and all of these recipes will be at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. So you don't have to worry about that. Easy to find. Eatdrinksmokeshow.com. You'll be able to get every recipe. We've got 3 drinks for you, 1 down, with the peach and the lemonade, and 2 to go. Keep it here. This is Eat, Drink, Smoke. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, like Mama used to make. When it comes to Independence Day drinks, I do not want anything that takes time. I want it to be quick, easy, flavorful, refreshing, and then I want to get on to eating the meat that I have been working on for days. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And if you're not sure what to make to eat, if you're not sure about understanding the drinks, get our books. What are they? There's Let's Go Barbecue.
Yes.
And there's Let's Go Bourbon.
Both available at Amazon.com.
That is shocking, but true. And I'm told you have to order today to get those books. And why is that?
Because supplies are limited.
I don't know if that part is true. The list that we have, our 3 drinks for Independence Day, they are available at our website, eatdrinksmokeshow.com. And just to be clear, when we're putting together the list, none of the whole Independence Day, they have to be red, white, and blue thing. We didn't go down that ridiculous road.
No, because how many cranberry drinks can you consume in one day?
7.
There you go.
I took a poll right there. No, we picked things that would be interesting and good and that people would really like. This is the creamsicle. Now, this is a mix of orange juice and marshmallow vodka, except it's Eat, Drink, Smoke, and we talk about bourbon. So we got this right here. This is from Hotel Tango, hoteltangodistillery.com. It's distilled right here in Indianapolis. This is their Schmallow Toasted Marshmallow Bourbon. So we are taking the creamsicle drink and we are making it with the bourbon. So Fingers Malloy, what you need is some Schmallow in there.
Oh, sure. You're letting me pour this time.
Well,
diggity dog.
So he's got that right there. And then it's an ounce and a half to 3 ounces of orange juice.
Sure,
of course,
ounce and a half.
Yep, that sounds about right. That's science. And then just a little bit of orange juice in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Do we have to do more?
Mixology.
Well, all right, fine. We do have to do a little bit more.
Right.
Now, Fingers, you are the bartender, so if you want to put that right on there and then put a cap on there and shake, you can get a bigger shaker than that, by the way. It's all about personal preference. How many people are you making a drink for? And then, of course, we'll add a little more orange juice on top because that happens to be a small shaker. Ice in the shaker and then ice in the drink. I'm just using full-size cubes here, but if you want to use crushed ice, you want to make it yourself, I'm not here to judge. Do your thing. Now, what we need, Fingers, is, you know what? I'll do this part here. We're going to get
I was just going to stuff the whole orange in there.
This is not a Bloody Mary.
Oh.
You can't just stuff the whole orange in there like that. You gotta, just do that right. And then we'll cut right here. I almost lost an orange. And then boom. And then we'll put a little garnish on yours. And then we'll put a little garnish on mine. And there it is.
That's beautiful.
This is a marshmallow bourbon. The Schmallow, by the way, the Schmallow that Hotel Tango makes got the same response from Fingers Malloy as it did from our digital director, Sarah, which was, I didn't think I was going to like it, but man, is that good.
It's true.
It's definitely going to be a different drink than a marshmallow vodka. It's definitely going to have some more robustness, but you first this Independence Day. First of all, that's pretty. That is pretty. That says summer day right there. Fingers Malloy. Do you need a moment alone?
That is a lot better than I thought it was going to be because I'm not a big orange juice person.
Right.
I usually.
Well, you didn't put a lot of orange juice in there.
That's true.
So we're all right.
Why don't you go ahead and give it a try?
I'm going. Well, you one of us has to talk. It is.
Believe me, I was going to keep talking while you were going to take your drink. That's wonderful.
Oh, that really is. It's almost pillowy. Yeah, what's weird is that it's not bourbon that cuts through. It's totally the marshmallow that cuts through. And the citrus is like almost an afterthought.
Yeah.
It's an accompanying player in, I almost think it needs more OJ. I'm just going to try just for scientific
I hear you.
purposes.
It definitely needs more OJ.
You didn't grab the orange juice.
Oh, I thought I grabbed the orange juice.
You know, that's
but
that's the
what's
smell.
funny about this is another drink that is easy to make, but also clearly you could get into a lot of trouble with this as well.
So much. I almost want to think this is actually screw it. You know how good that would be with your brisket?
Yeah.
That work because citrus works great with brisket. Orange is a fantastic flavor with brisket. Holy crap, is that good?
So I added marshmallow to mine.
Yes.
And again, I'm not tasting any alcohol. It's all the orange juice and the marshmallow.
It's weird. You don't feel the bourbon at all in any way. That's nice. I don't know what it's like with the what you call it, the vodka, but hey, I can live with that. On to drink number 3. So that brings us to drink number 3. Again, trying to make it easy, whiskey and ginger ale. And again, Canada Dry is what's wrong with Canada
There's
Dry?
only one ginger ale, and
Schweppes?
of course, no, Werner's.
Michigan people. They are something else. This is a takeoff on a traditional highball kind of drink here, and it just works for a hot day. This is a ginger whiskey, and it's literally 2 ingredients: ginger ale and whiskey. Went with the Hotel Tango, their oat whiskey. Of all things, did not go with the bourbon here, had the whiskey on hand, figured this is exactly the thing to use. Whiskey and bourbon, as you know, it's just a question of how much corn and how long in the barrel, etc. But this is going to work, and this is going to work beautifully. Fingers, how much of that whiskey would you pour into your drink right there? Remember, it's Independence Day. You got to be working on the grill. You might have some guests over. How much whiskey are you pouring?
Half a glass.
Half a glass. That is, by the way, a scientific measurement that has been put forth by NASA.
Well, I am doing this and saying it this way because some people may have a pint glass. Some people may have a rocks glass. So listen, if you have a pint glass, feel free to fill it halfway up with Hotel Tango whiskey.
We are not trying to reinvent the wheel, guys. And by the way, do not listen to Fingers when it comes to measurements whatsoever. Please.
You're going to have a really good Independence Day if you do.
But we wanted things that were simple, had different tastes, and that were fun and enjoyable, and just, did you get a little in your eye right there? The whiskey, the ginger ale, and went with the lime garnish on this, Fingers Malloy.
And I did a better job this time of keeping the seeds out of the lime.
Right.
So there you go.
Right? It's a classic. It's a classic look. It's a classic drink. It's a classic flavoring to you and your health. You don't have to make it difficult. We keep discussing this in a myriad of ways. Make it easy on yourself. Some cool drinks, some fun stuff to have. You going in, Fingers?
I'm going in.
He's going in for a little ginger whiskey right there. Honestly, ginger ale can do very little wrong. Not only is it delicious, but it'll also soothe your tummy if you're not feeling well. Your nonna will give it to you.
Canada Dry.
Right.
Tastes like Canadian Independence Day.
I'm going in.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. It's good. Of course, if you like ginger ale, you're a fan of ginger ale, you're a fan of whiskey. It's great.
Simple. Easy. I actually would like the spritz of lime in there. It is. Remember, it's going to be hot. People get over their skis. They get into too many different things. If the objective is the food on Independence Day, then let it be the objective. Let the drink be simple. Based on the 3 drinks we have, this is what I'm drinking with my meal. The lemonade and Crown Peach is what I'm having before the meal. And the creamsicle is kind of like a dessert, thing, unless I'm doing a cigar, in which case I might very well go back to this right here.
I don't think that the creamsicle would pair very well with a cigar.
I guess it depends on the cigar. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. That's just a wonderful classic feel, to it. 3 drinks. All the recipes are there at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. And if what you have is beer, you should think of Fingers and you should drink it.
Probably should.
Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Sarah, I need you to turn off the fan there. We're getting the smoke out of the studio. I love the new studio. The whole system is an absolute dream here. And if you missed anything about our drinks, what it is that you can prepare for Independence Day, don't worry. It's there at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. That's where you can grab all of the recipes. And, of course, smoking from God of Fire, Prometheus, the Carlito. The Buy a Carlito. This is the 2020 age for 3 years. Came out in 2023. That Cameroon wrapper. Man, I just love it. There's the right amount of spice, how it's laying on the tongue. It isn't overwhelming. It is just beautifully constructed, beautiful on the draw, and just, for me, it's not that the flavors move around too much on this cigar. I would not say that that's the case, but it just hits beautifully in each moment. Sometimes that little nuttiness picks up, sometimes a little wood picks up, sometimes the spice is a little more prevalent. It just works. Beautifully works.
Yeah, it does. That spice is picked back up again for me. It's crazy. I thought it was going to continue to dissipate, but it's there, that cedar note, that creamy sweetness. It's there, that nuttiness. It's just a wonderful stick. We have had zero issues with it. I've had to touch it up maybe once or twice, but that's just from, putting the stick down for long periods of time. Yeah, at that price point, you're looking at somewhere around $27 a stick. I would definitely have one or two of these in my humidor, not an everyday smoke by any stretch of the imagination, but a good special occasion stick for me anyway.
It's $27 to $30 a stick, but I buy it by the box when I can find it. I do, and I'm not about to stop. It's time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
Tony, every once in a while, I like to do an Eat, Drink, Smoke News of the Week follow-up.
Follow up.
I cannot believe how much feedback we got over the Bill Belichick story.
Oh, holy hell.
Bill
Really?
Belichick. Bill Belichick, former coach of the New England Patriots. Oh, I blew that. I should have said former coach of the Cleveland Browns. Should have just thrown that out.
That would have been... Bravo. Well played.
Drat. So Bill Belichick is 72 years old.
Yes.
He recently broke up with his girlfriend for many years, who I believe is in her early 60s, and is now dating a 24-year-old cheerleader by the name of Jordan Hudson. The amount of feedback we got from doing this story last week, via email, social media.
Why Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation? Why?
Everybody pretty much agreed with us. It's like everybody knows what this is about. And, some people are asking, why are you talking about this? Because everybody's talking about it. As you know, Tony, one of my passions, I have two passions in life.
Is that right?
Yes. One, synchronized swimming.
True.
And two, monitoring social media outrage.
Right.
And there was a lot of outrage about this relationship. He's 72, she's 24. Former cheerleader. And former cheerleader at 24. What we talking 2 years ago? I don't know the answer to that question. But interestingly, the Daily Mail had a story where Jordan Hudson, the 24-year-old cheerleader, had a character witness saying that this person is not all about the money, Tony. A former boyfriend, which I thought was really nice. A former boyfriend, they're not dating anymore, came out and said, oh, no. You are all wrong about Jordan Hudson, 24-year-old former cheerleader. And they should leave Jordan Hudson, 24-year-old former cheerleader, alone while she dates 72-year-old Bill Belichick.
Which is what I believe.
Yes. Joshua Zuckerman is the boyfriend's name.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah. 64-year-old Joshua Zuckerman.
Say that again?
64-year-old Joshua
You killed
Zuckerman.
Sarah. Digital Sarah's in the studio with us. She's fallen down. No, she has a type?
She has a type, Tony. And according to Mr. Zuckerman, she said that the two bonded over psychology, philosophy, and nature for eventually making the relationship romantic.
Hold on.
She's an old soul, Tony, according to him.
Her and Josh,
Yes.
they bonded over philosophy, psychology,
Yes.
and nature.
Yes.
And his checkbook?
Oh, stop it.
How much is he worth?
I did not Google.
How much is he worth?
TMZ did not report Joshua
Sarah,
Zuckerman's
look up
net
Josh
worth.
Zuckerman. And could you find out how...
And it just says he's a businessman.
Oh, is that it? He's just a businessman.
He's yes, he's an entrepreneur. He's a beeper salesman.
I don't believe that's it.
So why is it that again
Door-to-door encyclopedias. She has a type.
Jordan Zuckerman describes Hudson, 24-year-old former cheerleader, as wise beyond her years.
Well,
and the current discussions about her potentially being a gold
when you're
digger.
24 and wise beyond your years, it's not necessarily still that wise.
He says, quote, she speaks much more like a 26-year-old.
Okay, Sarah found it. His net worth, Joshua Zuckerman, somewhere between $1 and $12 million.
Okay.
She really does have a type.
1 million. What's $1 million nowadays? That just means that he can go and buy a brisket to feed people instead of a pork shoulder.
Right. That's all it means.
That's all it means.
That's all it means. She has a type indeed.
Jordan Zuckerman described.
Jordan is Jordan Hudson.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Joshua.
He wished it was Jordan Zuckerman.
Well, to be fair, I will say that I was reading this quote from the Daily Mail, and the photo caption said Jordan Zuckerman instead of Joshua. Oh. So I'm going to blame the Daily Mail for this. Well, Joshua Zuckerman described a 24-year-old former cheerleader, Jordan Hudson, as wise beyond her years, and said all the discussions about her potentially being a gold digger are, quote, not fair to her.
Right. And it will be equally not fair to her when she starts dating Robert Kraft.
He's taken.
Yeah, for now. First of all, wow, knock me over with a feather. Secondly, I hate you for bringing up this story. I hate you. You're so awful.
There are so many reasons why I bring stories to Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation. Sometimes it's to inform the public. Sometimes it is for no other reason than just to create what I believe will be a good radio segment. And sometimes I do it just for my own amusement. And I knew the reaction I was going to get as soon as I said Joshua Zuckerman, 64 years old.
64. Yeah, she's
wise beyond her years. But I will say part of what you experienced, as we talked about when you were traveling in Orlando, U.S. screens by TSA, they had a record-setting day of 2.99 million air passengers. So
when was this?
This was
for Father's
this just
Day?
past Monday.
Really?
Yes, the U.S. TSA said it screened 2.99 million air passengers. Oh, excuse me, on Sunday, the highest ever number in a single day. So, we keep talking about how the economy, it's crazy and people are struggling. Apparently, as far as travel goes, they're saying YOLO and they're getting on airplanes.
I have never been more convinced about this idea of doom spending, that everybody knows that it's all falling apart. The credit card debt is up. The defaults on credit card debt is up. None of this spending makes sense, but all that spending's on a credit card, so it makes perfect sense. This is a get it in now before it collapses. Now, that's a terrible thing to say. It's the only answer that makes sense, because the idea that we're the only people suffering and everything else is fine? Nah. I am more willing to believe that Jordan Hudson is in it for love.
Oh, stop. Live, laugh, love, I tell you.
Please don't ever bring up the story again. You're going to bring it up next week. There are truisms in the world, meaning that there are things that when said, you say, oh yeah, I totally agree with that. We know them to be smart and factual and right just because they are. They don't need any other explanation. So when this story came out about complaints from boomers, you know what a boomer is, Fingers Malloy?
A Esiason?
That's right. They're all quarterbacks. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Boomers are the baby boomers.
Oh.
Right? These are people who are older. And these are people who are screaming at you, get off my lawn, and 23 skidoo. Whatever else it is they say.
They play Yahtzee, and they have Werther's Originals in their home to hand out to their grandchildren.
Now, some boomers, right? They're living it up, and they don't recognize the fact that they're older. They're just in it, right? They're partying. They're down in the villages. They're putting a loof on their golf cart. They're doing the whole thing. I was in the villages last week, and I saw things. That said, I'm totally healthy.
I was going to say, I have questions for off the air.
Nope. Took 7 showers a day. Use steel wool. I'm totally fine.
How many golf cart rides did you take?
0. 0.
Then you weren't in the villages, my friend.
This is 30 boomer complaints from young people proving that the older generation has a point.
So what they're saying, normally they'd go, okay, boomer. But then the tone certainly changed to, okay, boomer, right?
Right. So here is the question that was posited. What's the most boomer complaint you have? This is how people respond to this, what boomers have said to them. Here's number 1. I don't want an app or create an account to order something or access information from your company website. If you make me do that, I'll just buy from somewhere else. Yes. Yeah. On behalf of Generation X, yes. Just let me order my crap. Don't put me on another email list. You low-life bastard. Leave me alone. This is the correct response, ladies and gentlemen. A truism.
Yes. 40 years ago, when you wanted to buy something at Kmart, you didn't have to jump through 20 hoops to get that thing at Kmart. You walked by the little shining blue light and you grabbed it and you bought it. Why these companies are making you jump through hoops to buy something from them is beyond me.
Next one. Next complaint. That is a truism. Stop making me speak to robots when I call customer care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, today's episode of Eat, Drink, Smoke brought to you by Depends. Depends. Because you want to listen to the whole podcast, but who has the time? Depends.
I thought you were going to go with, do you want to keep listening to the show? Depends.
Nice. You know what? I messed it. I apologize. Yours. Here you go. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, much better. Complaint. TV shows are too dark. Commercials are too loud. Stop it. And car headlights are too bright.
Oh.
Yes. Now, the car headlights, I'm not there yet.
Oh, on TV shows. Am I right? Holler. If you disagree with me, leave a comment down below.
This one, this is fascinating because this has come up in my family. Bring back laptops with DVD players. My wife has a DVD collection. We do not have a car she can listen to it in. We have one car. I have a 2009 Hummer H3. It has DVD. No, it has a CD player. That was CDs. Laptops with DVD players. That's a solid point.
It is because most DVD players can play CDs, so I'm on board with that because I have quite a few CDs. I'm going to end up. I've got a nice little man cave in the garage with it's going to end up having 5 TVs in it for football. And I have so many CDs. I'm going to put my old stereo from 1993 that still works with a 6 CD changer in it so I can listen to CDs.
Another one on the list. I hate QR code menus in the restaurant. I want a physical menu.
I disagree.
Wait, that means you're actually going to restaurants.
Yes.
Where you're not ordering by number.
Right.
You paint and you order by number. That's how you do it. No, I want a menu. I do not want to scan. No.
Oh, no, I'm all for this because a lot of times when I go to a restaurant and they hand me a menu, 9 times out of 10, it's just a laminated thing that has not been wiped off in 15 years. I would rather use my phone that I know I wipe off at least once a week.
Where do you eat?
Huh?
Bar
and grills.
Tipping culture has gotten out of hand.
Oh.
Yes. They want you to tip for everything. By the way, if you want to leave us a tip here at Eat, Drink, Smoke, you are capable of doing that at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Leave a tip. We'd greatly appreciate it. It is out of control, ridiculous that everybody wants you to tip everywhere all the time. Next one on the list, We need to stop trying to turn cars into glorified computers. I'm begging. That's what it says.
Yes.
It's too much. Too many doodads.
Too many doodads and too many things that are added on to cars that end up, something goes wrong, and then you have to take it to a repair shop, and you have to go to a mechanic that has special tools, or they have to lift an engine out to replace something that, 40 years ago you could replace yourself. That's why cars are so expensive.
Here, first of all, you sound angry.
It bothers me.
Because we're spending too much on cars for things we don't really need?
Yeah, and then they're always adding new things, and it's like, oh, it's for safety, and yeah, okay, it makes it marginally safer, but that's why cars are $40,000 brand new now. Do we really need an alarm at the back of the car to make you look back to make sure your kid isn't there?
No, do I hate that? I cannot stand that. Should be disabled. The other one that has to be disabled, I should be allowed to just rip out the wires that do this. This whole thing of when you stop at a red light and the car stops, it stops running.
I hate that.
Which is done for like emissions reasons.
Yes. And fuel economy.
Screw that. Screw the car manufacturers, the whatever government lackey thought of this idea. I cannot stand it. It is the most annoying thing about my car.
Well, the thing too is I'm supposed to trust that, say, we're seeing that people are driving older and older cars. I'm supposed to trust that 13 years from now, if I'm still driving this car, that technology is going to work when I'm in a hurry to turn left before the light turns red. What if it stalls out right in front of a car as you're trying to cross its path? No, thank you.
I turn it off every time I get into the car.
No.
Every time I get into the car. This whole list is available at eatdrinksmokeshow.com from the people of God of Fire, Prometheus, the Carlito. I am just an outrageous fan of this cigar. I want to be clear. There are cigars that I like more than this. I just think that this is an absolutely wonderful presentation. And in now getting into this final third, that spice is picking up. And there are some people who in that final third might feel that it really does get a bit intense. I'm not one of them. It happens to work for me. $27 to $30 a stick. I buy them by the box when I can. It's up to you if you want to buy it. And if you want to check out the drinks that we're making for Independence Day, the recipes are there at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. You can take a look at those and make sure that your Independence Day, you have got the drinks that work for everybody. Or just yourself if you're not going to entertain, because as Fingers Malloy says, people, meh, forget that. Keep it here. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke.
Follow Eat, Drink, Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat, Drink, Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/Eat, Drink, Smoke, and Instagram at Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast.